Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I don't give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Escow.
Jeff
Doing my time. Doing my time. Got myself a problem.
from San Diego. It's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Sports World Radio. Glad everybody could be here today. We got a jam-packed show for you guys. Lots and lots to get to. I hope everybody's ready for it. We got a special guest coming on in at the bottom of this hour. That's right, the bottom of the hour. After we take our bottom of the hour break, we're going to have a special guest coming on in. FoxSports.com NFL editor Ross Jones coming on the show today, so get ready for that. So what do you say, hey, we get all the particulars out of the way, get the show started, and get ready for the bottom of the hour. I am the host, Jeff Eskel, of this crazy 2-hour sports journey that we take you on each and every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. on the East, 3 p.m. on the West, and if you live in the Central,
if you live in the Central, figure that out for yourself.
That's right. If you want to get in touch with the show, there's several ways to do it. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. That's facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. And send us a message that way. I'm on the Facebook page right now. I'll get your messages. Facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. Okay, so you get that. Go over there and send us a message while you're listening to the show, and I will get it. If you want to come and hang out in our chat room, it's over at Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker, Spreaker.com. Head on over there, get yourself a free account, sign up today. Type in Sports World Radio after you sign up. You'll see something that says live. Click the live button. The bubble will show up on the right-hand side at the bottom of your screen. Click the bubble, and you'll be chatting in the chat room. Or you can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. That's twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. Or you can send us an email at swrshow@gmail.com. That's swrshow@gmail.com. I'm on all three of them right now. So I'll get your message either way. Facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. Twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio, or send your email to swrshow@gmail.com, or join our chat room over at Spreaker.com. Those are your ways to get in touch with us for the show. All right? We're having a contest here at Sports World Radio. We're looking for a new intro. Send your intro to introcontest@sportsworldradio.com. That's introcontest@sportsworldradio.com. The intro's got to be 60 seconds long, no curse words, and Jeff Escow and Sean Mann must be in there. 60 seconds long, no curse words, Jeff Escow, Sean Mann must be in there. Otherwise, have at it. Send it to introcontest@sportsworldradio.com. Don't forget to join SWR Sports Shorts. That's SWR Sports Shorts. Don't forget to join that. You get to listen to all the commercial breaks of what me and the guys are talking about during the commercial breaks. So when you guys are listening to the commercials, we keep the show going on the commercial breaks. You get to listen to that now. Head on over to sportsworldradio.com/sportshorts. That's sportsworldradio.com/sportshorts. Sign up today and be able to listen to all the conversations we have during the commercial breaks and whoever is on the line with us at the particular time. So you're going to get some Ross Jones stuff today during the commercial break, so that should be pretty cool. With all that being said, what do you say, hey, we bring in that co-host of ours, Sean Mann, the Update Man. What's going on there, buddy?
I'm doing good here, Jeff. Welcome, everybody, to Sports World Radio on the 29th of July, 2015. It's 6:08 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 3:08 p.m. on the West. For you people in the Mountain and Central, really figure that out for yourself. Weather right now is about 85 degrees. It's kind of the last cool day before the next batch of heat comes into the land of potatoes. Doing well in general. How are you doing, Jeff? And how's the weather out there?
You sound a little somber today, my friend.
Oh, doing just fine. Having to deal with the... I think it's just because I'm down 2 games. I'm on the brink of elimination to Josh tonight. If I lose tonight, I will have to be paying up a bet to him.
That's funny. That's crazy.
Then you'd have to look at White Sox, and I have to get rid of my Boston City of Champions for an entire week over my Skype.
That's funny.
I think that's stupid is what it is.
I think it's funny.
Got to give those Chicago people something to cheer about these days, even though they got their cup.
That's funny. I find
9
that
minutes after the hour.
9 minutes after the hour. I find that funny. Don't forget, coming up at the bottom of the hour after our commercial break, we have FoxSports.com NFL editor Ross Jones coming in and talk to us for a segment. He's going to come in and talk to us about some NFL stuff, what's going on in the NFL. I'm sure we'll talk about what's going on with Brady. I'm hoping that we can discuss something that's very important that I wanted to discuss with him. I told him that we would ask him about it, but I haven't got a response back, so I'm waiting to find out. So otherwise, we might not discuss it. That's right. Don't forget to subscribe to Sports World Radio's Sport Shorts at sportsworldradio.com/sport shorts. All right, Sean, first topic of the day, my friend.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to try to do this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to talk about everything with Deflategate and NFL until we have our guest speaker coming in at the bottom of the hour. So I figure with 10 minutes after the hour, we could get to Major League Baseball. Exactly a year after both were dealt on trade deadline day, David Price and Yoenis Cespedes are back on the market. Confirming an ESPN.com report, general manager Dave Dombrowski said he told multiple teams Wednesday afternoon that the Detroit Tigers will listen on all their potential free agents for David Price, Yoenis Cespedes, closer Joakim Soria, and others between now and Friday's trade deadline.
Who's that, Detroit?
Yeah, Dave Dombrowski today making the news that he came out and said he's willing to make some trades with some teams.
Yeah,
for
I bet he
players.
is. I bet he is.
I rule the Tigers out. They won't make the playoffs. Hey, Shaba, and of course, shout out to Josh Lopez, the program director. I just want to say, though, that Tigers, like I said before, they're out of the playoff hunt. So you might as well start realizing that maybe it's time to clean house a little bit there in Detroit. You don't know what to expect with them.
How many games are the Tigers back?
For the Detroit Tigers, they are 13.5 games out of first place in the American League Central and 4.5 games behind in the wild card race this week. I still count them out.
They're only 4.5 games behind in the wild card, right?
Right, but I still think I'm counting them out.
And
I don't see them being a team making it to the playoffs this year.
And Cabrera's still on the bench, right? He's still on the injured list, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're dumping? What are you, crazy, dude? Come on.
What did Josh always say to me with the Detroit Tigers? That they rely too much on Miguel Cabrera. He made a very good point when we had him on the show for Skippy Bayless Bash Hour, which was a few days ago, about what the Tigers are doing. I'm looking at Detroit right now. Yeah, they're 4.5 out, but it's going to be a miracle for Detroit even to get to the playoffs. I just don't see them doing it. Justin Verlander is not the same, and David Price has not been very good this year for the Tigers.
Chicago White Sox. Oh, I'm sorry, not Chicago. Detroit. Yeah, they're 3.5. I'm sorry, they're 3.5 out of the wild card behind Minnesota. That's not. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's still considered in it, don't you think?
Still considered in it, but they're not the same like what we've seen from the last few years for the Detroit Tigers.
Cubs are only 2, and the Mets are only 3, and you don't see the Mets. Okay, here's a great example. The Mets are 3 back in the wild card division. Detroit's 3.5, correct?
Right.
You don't see the Mets throwing in the towel, do you?
Nope.
The Mets are going after people, aren't they?
Yep.
The Mets are making trades to help their team out, where Detroit is 3.5, and they're selling off. Why? I think Detroit is still in it in the wild card. Is Cabrera out for the season?
I have not figured out what the story is with Miguel Cabrera.
I don't think Cabrera's out for the season. They stay 3 back and he comes back, you got a chance. If you're 3 back, how many games are left? At least 60, right?
Probably at least like 60 games because the calendar flips from July to August.
Right. Okay, so at least 60 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so come on. You got at least 60 games left and you're only 3 games out of the wild card? Come on.
Well, we already know this. We already know that the Kansas City Royals will have the American League Central wrapped up. And the way I look at it with Kansas City is this, that they will be, most likely, in my opinion, when October gets here, they will be the number 1 seed awaiting the wild card winner. Maybe have an old rivalry that we haven't seen in years, and that would maybe possibly be the Royals and the Yankees in the ALCS. Maybe. It depends on what happens with the Yankees if they can keep this thing up. Now, I know that the Yankees are 16-5 in July in the last 21 games. They've been the hottest team right now. The question with the Yankees is, can they keep this up? I still don't consider them to be a serious World Series contender, a threat this year. They will make the playoffs, but I don't consider them a threat.
Who?
Now, Josh says this. Justin Verlander is their ace, and he continues to play like hot garbage. They don't have enough pitching, and their offense is slumping bad. Well said, Josh. Props to you, buddy.
Yeah,
on that.
but they're only 3 games back in the wild card, and Dombrowski's throwing in the towel. I don't get that.
It would appear that he is. And
Yeah,
Dave Dombrowski.
I don't get that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Sean, he's only 3 games back, and he's throwing in the towel where the Mets, he's only 3.5 games back, and he's throwing in the towel. The Mets are 3 games back, and they're not throwing in the towel. I don't get it.
If you look at this American League, if you look at the wild card right now, you got the Angels at 55-44, the Astros 56-45, the Twins starting to falter a little bit, 52-48. I know that they're over 500, but Josh, you did say it. I was only busting your chops about it, about the Twins. You know that you don't still see the Twins as a playoff team this year.
And Baltimore is only a game and a half behind Minnesota for the wild card. So I'm telling you, this is not over. Baltimore's only a game and a half back of Minnesota. Tampa Bay's only 2.5 back of Minnesota, and Toronto's only 2.5. And Toronto just made a move for Tulowitzki. So our team that's 2.5 games back is making moves. Are the White Sox making any moves, or are they selling off their team like Detroit?
Josh, what have you been hearing? You're the big Chicago White Sox fan, because they did take the first 2 games against, of course, Boston. And, of course, you did tell me during our Skype conference call that the White Sox have been playing better ball of late.
Boston's only 8.5.
Trying to get to 500.
Boston's only 8.5 out of the wild card.
Yeah, but you know what? The Red Sox may be 8.5 out for the wild card, but they're done, Jeff. Even as an honest Red Sox fan, they're done. They don't have the pitching. They've been suffering injuries. Buckholt's on the 60-day DL. Pedroia is out with an injury. They had to trade Shane Victorino. Mike Napoli, there's a possibility that he could be moving to another place for trade deadline.
So they're getting
they're not going to make the playoffs.
So
they're
Boston's going to throw off their. Boston's going to throw away their stuff too.
What I think they will. I think what Ben Cherington has to do is he needs to realize that the expectations were so high before the season began with all their additions that they made, but with the Red Sox, they've got to start cleaning house immediately and start preparing for 2016. I read a story a few weeks ago about that, and it's time for them to make necessary moves to get their team as a threat for 2016. They can do it, but they need to fix things immediately, fix their pitching, which is the worst in all of Major League Baseball.
I'd like to see the Orioles make a push too, Shaba. I really would, man. I'd like to see the Orioles do it. They're only a game and a half behind Minnesota.
And Shaba, yeah, a good point when you bring up the Baltimore Orioles. Let's not forget that Buck Showalter, 17 minutes after the hour, let's not forget that Buck Showalter is a guy that has experience. He did a good job with the Yankees. He did a good job with the Diamondbacks, and he's done a very good job with the Baltimore Orioles. Don't forget, this was an Orioles team last year that went to the American League Championship Series. Sure, they got swept by the Kansas City Royals, but they were the biggest surprise last year by representing the American League East Division and knocking both the Red Sox and the Yankees out of playoff contention.
Hey, you know,
because Showalter
Pittsburgh
wanted to win so bad.
You know, Pittsburgh spanked freaking Minnesota today, 10-4.
The Pirates, with Clint Hurdle, they seem to be clicking. The question is, can they keep this up? I don't see them overtaking the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals are just too dangerous right now. So you're the Pirates. Just get yourself probably set for maybe the play-in game, maybe against the Giants, a rematch of last year.
Well, you know something? Pittsburgh needs to start falling apart so they can get out of that wild card spot. So it could be San Francisco and the Chicago Cubs in the wild card.
Yeah, good point.
I want to see Frank go crazy. Frank's the Cubs fan, right?
Frank is the Chicago Cubs fan, and Wes is the Pirate fan.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. The Cubs and the Pirates play each other. That would be pretty cool. How about that? Let's knock out freaking San Francisco and get the Cubbies in there, and let's get Wes and Frank playing against each other. And we got to hope and pray that game is on a Tuesday or a Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Got to hope and pray that playing game is a Tuesday or a Thursday, where it's the Cubs and Pittsburgh, so we can get Frank on the air during the game. How awesome would that be? Show Frank some serious love during that Pirates-Cubbies playing game and be rooting for the Cubbies during the show for the playing game, just so we can stick it up Wes's butt. You like that, Sean?
Exactly. And Josh goes, I want to see the Pirates. I do like that. He wants to see the Pirates make the playoffs and see the Cowboys of baseball choke again. Well, think about it. This is like their third straight winning year. 2012, the Pirates had a year where they got off to a great start, and then they faltered and went 79 and 83 in 2012. Then in 2013, they had the turnaround by ending 21 years by making the playoffs and taking the Cardinals 5, and then, of course, like I pointed out yesterday, and then the one-game play-in game against the Giants. This year's Pirates team, I know Clint Hurdle would probably like saying, when are we ever going to get a chance to be the National League Central champion since we've got all that young talent?
Never.
Never.
You're never going to freaking win it. Never. You know why? Because you're not that good.
What I don't like, gentlemen, and everybody listening about this for Major League Baseball, since we're kind of focusing on that, I don't like the fact that Major League Baseball this year, the season ends on October 4th. Think about that. That's when it ends, the 4th of October.
World Series and everything?
The regular season.
The regular season? The regular season ends on October 4th?
That's right.
Holy freaking Toledo. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
The regular season ends on October 4th?
Yes, it does.
So that means they're going to be playing the freaking World Series in mid-November.
Pretty much.
What the hell's going on? It's supposed to, whatever happened to Mr. October? Now we're going to call him Mr. November? Get the hell out of here. That disgusts me.
It disgusts me too, Jeff, because it's a bad decision by Major League Baseball to play World Series till November. Now, 2009 they played the World Series until early in November, and then in 2010 they did the same thing. Yeah, exactly, Shabba. And think about this too. At that time in sports, everybody's focusing on the NFL. The NHL season is in full swing, and the NBA starts in late October. And then NCAA college men's basketball is coming right around the corner.
Basically, what's going to happen?
In full swing.
So basically, what's going to happen is the playoffs. The season's going to end on October 4th. The playoffs are going to start October 6th, 2 days later on a Tuesday. Okay, most likely. Okay, so that's the first series. And all series are 7 games, right?
One game play-in game. Then you got best of 5, best of 7, best of 7.
So you got the one in playing game, okay, which is going to suck. And then so 6th and the 7th, so you got those 2 playing games, and then the regular series ain't going to start until the 8th and 9th, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
okay.
That is correct.
So then you're talking about a 7-game series starting either on Thursday or a Friday. So you're talking 1, 2 off, and then. You're talking about ending on the 15th, and the new series starting either Saturday or Sunday, and then that series going, and then boom, boom. So you're looking to be finished with the World Series right around November 15th.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
That's why I was going to...
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Even if it's November 8th. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. November 8th. Is that 2 weeks before Thanksgiving?
Let's see. November 8th would be a Sunday.
And so November 11th is 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, correct? I'm looking at the calendar right now. Thanksgiving is November 25th, right? November 26th this year, because it's a Thursday. November 26th, right? If the season ends on November 8th, November 12th is 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So it's a little over 2 weeks. The baseball season is going to end before Thanksgiving. Are you kidding me?
That's nuts is what it is.
You're taking the baseball season all the way almost to Thanksgiving? Are you shitting me?
I kind of saved this, everybody, until we got through most of the season, because here it is, the 29th of July, and I thought Jeff will flip when he hears on the air that I have to mention that MLB season will end on October 4th.
Are you kidding me? October 4th, the season's going to end. So that means the playoffs ain't actually going to start until the playing game. One is on the 6th, one is on the 7th. Then the series will start October 8th and October 9th. You got 7 games. So that's one series will end either on the 15th or the 16th. Another series will either end on the 15th or the 16th. Then that series is going to start on the 18th and the 19th. And then that series is going to go until like the 25th or the 26th. And then that next series is going to start on the 27th or the 28th. And you're going to go, oh, what are you kidding me?
It's an absolute joke. And that's why you and I, Jeff, have said it all along. I wish we could explain it to Frank that they need to get rid of the play-in game because it's an absolute joke.
Holy freaking Toledo.
The one-game playoff was the best thing we had when both teams were tied, and then they had to play the one-game playoff, and then you were out, and then boom, you start that. The play-in game that extra wild card is an absolute joke. I've disliked it from day one.
Get rid of it.
Still dislike it.
Get rid of it. Just bring in one wild card team, bing, bang, boom, and let's go.
Now it's
freaking believable. I hate that. So basically, the baseball season is going to end 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So basically, we're going to have baseball, and you want to know something?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times, baseball won't play on Sundays because they know it's football day. So they'll wait until play like on a Monday, and they won't play Monday because of freaking Monday Night Football. So they'll play Monday afternoons. You know, it's going to be crazy. I don't like it, man. I hate it.
I remember...
Get the damn season over in October, will you?
I remember in 2009, the Phillies and the Yankees played, and I think, if I remember correctly, they did play NFL. Like they played the morning games, the afternoon, and then they had World Series Game 4 between the Phillies and the Yankees at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, and that was a Sunday night.
It's
and then
ridiculous.
They played Game 5, and then it was a day off, and and think about the travel days that they have too.
It's ridiculous. It is stinking ridiculous, man. I'm telling you right now. I don't get it.
Yeah, the play-in game. I mean, it's like one day off. Play-in games like 6, 7. Then you got the best of 5 league divisional series, and then you got then after that series is over with, you got the league championship series. Then you got the World Series. It's called Classic. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. I don't get it. Get the freaking thing over in October, will you? End it in October.
It should be.
Yeah, I know. It's whatever. It's whatever it is. I hate it, though. It's wrong. It's wrong. MLB is wrong. They should go back to the way it used to be. Get it over with already.
Get it done between middle or late October. That's the way I always remember growing up watching October baseball. Same with the Super Bowl. They should move it back to the middle or late January. I hate the idea when they have to go to the first Sunday in February. Then let me try this again. NBA and NHL, they play 2 months for the postseason. Just go. All of the playoffs I enjoy, but good grief, it just goes on way too long.
Way too long. Way too long.
Because people get at the point where everybody just they get like really tired and fatigued from having to watch all that playoff coverage. And
it feels like sometimes the playoffs go longer than the season.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Feels that way with basketball, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? I mean, it feels that way. I just don't, all the way until October. That's not. And the football season starts in September.
September 10th, first game. And then,
Right?
of course, the 13th will be a full slate of games.
September 1st, right? So you got September. So from September, October, and a little bit of November, you got baseball and football going on. And then right there at the beginning of November, you're going to have basketball going on. And then you're going to, so at one point, you're going to have all four sports going on. Correct?
That's right. And the NHL starts October 7th.
Right. So in October, all four sports will be going on at once.
Oh, and we do the shows. That's going to be nuts. That's
Right?
the way I look at October.
October, all four sports are going on at once, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Freaking crazy.
And it'll be cold in Kansas City, be cold in New York, be cold in Washington, D.C.
Be
So
cold
dress
and
warm for all you people out there in the East when it gets really cold and
be
maybe
cold
bringing
in-
a little bit of
Gonna
snow.
be cold in Pittsburgh. Gonna be cold in Chicago. It's gonna be cold in San Francisco. You know where it's not gonna be cold? San Diego. That's where it's not gonna be cold.
And San Francisco and maybe Los Angeles, home of the Dodgers.
No. San Francisco will be cold and rainy. That's that time of the year. Hey, let's run to a commercial break. You're listening to Jeff Eskow, Sean Man on
Sports World Radio.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
Which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com, 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West, and if you live in the Central...
If you live in the Central, figure that out for yourself.
That's right. Joining us right now, I'm so glad to have him on the phone lines with us. First time to the show, very excited to have him, FoxSports.com NFL editor Ross Jones. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us, Ross.
It's a pleasure. Good afternoon. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great. We're having a lot of fun. It's a little warm here in San Diego, and I'm sure... Where are you calling in from?
I'm in Los Angeles, so I'm not too far from you.
Ah, so you're up there in L.A. enjoying the nice warm weather as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah, can't beat it out here.
Yeah, so being the FoxSports.com NFL editor, I'm sure you've been following what's been going on with the Tom Brady thing, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. It's been, it's been one of those stories that really hasn't gone away for, much of the last 6-7 months. But, we've been tracking it as well as plenty of other stories as well.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Your opinion on Roger Goodell still making the 4-game suspension stand.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what Roger Goodell cited was 7 undisputable facts, reasons why Tom Brady had his suspension upheld. And, first of all, it was he violated the official playing rules of having the ball go between the 12.5 to 13.5 pounds per square inch. Brady, he never disputed his interest in inflation levels in his 10-hour appeal with the league. He, Walt Anderson, the official of the AFC Championship game, he examined all the balls in the locker room, in the official locker room during halftime, and noticed that the balls were, underinflated 12.5 pounds per square inch. And then, there's so much other stuff with Jim McNally taking the balls behind closed doors, and the Colts complaining about the air pressure, and Brady talking with Jastrzemski the next day, according to Jastrzemski's cell phone data. It seems like there's so much going on, and then at the end, Tom Brady, the smoking gun was destroyed in a sense, his cell phone, and so that's what leaves us to believe that he's guilty among all parties. So it's a 4-game suspension. I don't think it's the end of the world, but he clearly violated the integrity of the game, and that's something that Roger Goodell has a responsibility to protect as the NFL commissioner. So I think 4 games was just insane.
Okay, so Tom...
Ross, this is Sean Mann. I'm Jeff Eskows, of course, co-host of Sports World Radio. I have a question to ask you, too. Today, Robert Kraft made his press conference. What do you make of that and your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Robert Kraft, he's doubled down, he's tripled down, and I think now where else does he go from here? I think he addressed the media on the decision. Clearly, he wasn't happy. He called it, the decision unfathomable, and that he regrets not appealing the penalties against the team. So, I think he had some type of sense that the league was going to, maybe play ball if he just allowed all of those penalties to subside with New England, and of course it didn't. And now New England was docked $1 million, 2 draft picks, and Brady's out for 4 games. So it's a lose-lose for the Patriots.
Okay, does Brady go and appeal this in court? And if so, how long do you think it takes? And is it the first 4 games, or can it be possibly other games?
Yeah, that still remains to be seen. I'm sure, that the NFLPA and Tom Brady's camp, they're going to do their best to, make sure that this gets into the federal courts and try to get this expedited as quickly as possible, because, of course, as many networks and people have noted, they don't want this lingering on into what could be November, December, January, where, there's postseason ball at play. So the Patriots want to get this settled, and I'm sure Tom Brady wants to get it behind him as well. But, I think his first priority is trying to clear his name, because he seems to be very adamant that he had nothing to do with this.
Commissioner Goodell today came out, and the NFL actually said that they were going to put police and security around Roger Goodell's home in Scarborough, Maine. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think Roger Goodell, being the one who protects the shield, he's the face of the league in a sense, and I think anytime that he makes decisions, they're going to be unpopular, because he has a responsibility to uphold the integrity of the game, and a lot of times people that upsets people, whether it's he's levying suspensions or fines. Typically, it doesn't sit well with fan bases, and as we all know, fans fan is short for fanatical, which means, they'll do just about anything. And with that, they need to take the proper security measures when it comes to all that stuff. So, it's notable for sure, but, hopefully it wouldn't ever, escalate to that type of stuff.
If you're just joining us on Sports World Radio, joining us right now is FoxSports.com NFL editor Ross Jones. We're talking here about the Tom Brady situation. I have one more question about that, and then we'll move on to another subject.
Jeff, real
yeah.
quickly, I have another question, too, on this subject before we move on. Is that okay if I can ask that, too?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask it right now.
Okay. Real quickly, this suspension upheld by federal court, if it happens, what do you make of the Patriots' backup quarterback?
Well, first of all, he's the first thing you think about when you're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo is he doesn't have a whole ton of playing experience at this level. I think, I've spoken with plenty of talent evaluators in the league, scouts, personnel directors, guys who have, really gauged where he was at when he was coming out of college. And, I've been told that he's a project, but at the same time, he has a lot of potential. And if he can work efficiently in that offense and, try to get the ball in his hands, playmakers, I think, he could be effective. Now, clearly there's a steep fall off from Tom Brady in a second-year quarterback with no regular game experience. So I think, they're going to have to get creative in their game plans and really try to maximize the talent level of that defense to kind of play, to really play some ground and pound type football.
Okay, really quick, because Sean asked my question for me. So, do you believe that they can end up 2-2 or 1-3, or what do you think they'll end up with Garoppolo starting those 4 games?
Well, I mean, you look at their schedule, and they open up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have one of the most potent offensive attacks in the league. So, that's going to definitely be tough. But what they do have on their side is the benefit of Le'Veon Bell, who's going to be suspended for 2 games, who had just had his suspension reduced from 3 to 2. And then the Patriots, I believe they go on to play Buffalo, who's, of course, they have 21 of, if you put up their roster, 21 of their players against a lot of other teams, those guys would really be stacked up against well on the depth chart. But it's really that it comes down to that trigger man, the quarterback position. And I think that's going to be telling for Buffalo. They're going to need to really ride LaShawn McCoy and Greg Roman. I'm sure we'll have a great game plan for that. But, when you talk about Tom Brady and the effective ways to knock him around, it's having quality defensive lines. And so I think they're going to be challenged right out of the chute. But, the Patriots, they know how to game plan from week to week, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do come out, 2-2 out of that 4-game stretch. And then in week 6, they open up against the Indianapolis Colts, and we'll all be glued to our televisions when that game comes around.
Okay, we got a couple of questions in our chat room. Our producer actually asks, which team that didn't make the playoffs last year that you think will make the playoffs this year in the NFL?
That's a great question. I'm not sure if they have the all the makings of the playoffs team, but I think the Philadelphia Eagles, when you look at them, they're a team that they weren't too far away last year, and I think with Sam Bradford, if he can stay healthy, which is a big if, but if he can stay healthy, I think he is a much better quarterback than Nick Foles is. And I don't think you can really argue that. I mean, I've spoken with several, high-ranking talent evaluators about Foles and Bradford, and they believe that, Bradford was one of the most accurate quarterbacks coming out of college and even during his rookie season when he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then there's the reunion with the offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. So I think he's going to be successful, and they have a great ground game with DeMarco Murray and Ryan Matthews and Darren Sproles. So I think they have the weapons with Jordan Matthews on the outside and Nelson Aguilar. So I think the Philadelphia Eagles, they have the tools to be very successful. You talk about the front seven, Bill Davis. I just think Philadelphia has a lot of things moving in the right direction. And, if I had to put my money on one team, it'd probably be them.
Does Tim Tebow make that team?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think, when you start talking about those 49 through 53, those guys, I think, you have to be well-versed in, obviously, special teams, but, offer a little bit of, a little bit of productivity on the field as well, on whether it's offense or defense. And I don't know if he can be a sustainable quarterback in this league. Of course, I don't want to doubt him and do any of that stuff, but I think, when it's a pure numbers game, I think, a lot of these teams, they stick to the 2 quarterback system and ride with a third on the practice squad.
Another person in the chat room asked you this. What's your take on Junior Gillette released by the Saints, New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, absolutely. Junior, he was coming off a pectoral injury as well, but I think this is just the makeup of, there were a lot of issues that happened behind the scenes where there was maturity issues and all of that stuff. But I think, the Saints, they lost big on this bet of putting it down on Junior Gillette, and I think that it's going to hurt them for some time to come because he was a very experienced pass rusher, a guy who could get to the quarterback, and now they're going to be relying on some young up-and-coming guys, most notably Haoli Kikaha, the rookie out of Washington, who led the nation in sacks last season, but we'll have to see how quickly he can adjust to the next level.
Okay, and during the break, we talked to you, and I know you didn't write this article. James Parzelli, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, Parzelli.
Parzelli. He was the gentleman that wrote this article. And here at Sports World Radio, we are not, I'm going to say it really nicely, we are not Tony Romo fans here. And we were wondering why he actually put Tony Romo number 5 on this list when there are other quarterbacks that should be ahead of him on this list.
Yeah, that's a great question for James. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with his assessment, but, I think Tony Romo, he's had some success in the league for, where he's been, but, top 5, I think it's a bit of a reach as well.
Yeah,
so,
especially since he's got him right in front of Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, considering they both have Super Bowl wins and Tony Romo only has 2 playoff wins.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on, what you're really basing this on. Is it for this year only? Are we talking about the longevity of his career, all that stuff that goes into play? But, still, for my money, I think I'd put it on, Peyton and Eli in their respective offenses over, Tony Romo, who's going to be, he's going to be counted upon this year more than ever.
Your take on the Romo and Cowboys this year?
Well, I think first off, it's all about the running game, and you lose DeMarco Murray, and you're going to have to replace him with Joseph Randle and Lance Dunbar and Darren McFadden. That's fine, but I think what really bolsters that idea is their offensive line. We all know about their 3 first-round offensive linemen, but they go get Lyle Collins as an undrafted free agent. I think this is going to continue to be one of the nastiest offensive lines. I think Joseph Randle, he does show that he has the ability to break those long runs, but it's more of a matter of who's going to be that guy that can kind of, really move the chains. And so it starts there. But defensively, I expect them to be a little bit better. They get, Byron Jones out of UConn, whether he plays that nickel slot, and then you have Randy Gregory, a very talented pass rusher, and Greg Hardy, who after he serves his suspension will also be a quarterback's worst nightmare. So I think the Cowboys, while they can talent-wise and on paper, it seems like they could be building off of last year's success. I expect them to still hover around that 8-8 mark.
There's been a lot of stories too, Ross, about the Dallas Cowboys, and it is the month of July. Your take on the Cowboys and their fans not getting over the NFC divisional playoff loss against the Green Bay Packers. After all, here it is the 29th of July, and it's 6 months later, and they're upset about the controversy of a pass that was ruled incomplete by the officials, and they can't get over it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was all, just the definition of what the catch was, and that's really kind of what sparked the fire. And, a lot of people have spoken about it since then, and there's been a revision to the rule. Mike Pereira, the Fox Sports NFL rules analyst, discussed that last week. And so I think that's what kind of keeps the ambers burning in a sense. But, training camps here, Cowboys will be reporting to Oxnard, and I think they'll be looking on to 2016 before we know it.
So I'm the big Giants fan of the house. Who wins that division? Because we know that I personally don't think the Redskins really have a chance because who knows what the heck they're doing. I really don't think Philadelphia knows what they're doing. I read an article the other day where Chip Kelly is analyzing P. So I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. What's your take on that division?
Yeah, I still think the Eagles, they're coming off a 10-6 season, and I think, as I mentioned before, they bolstered that roster, and I believe that they're going to be set up for success. They added some young talent defensively with Byron Maxwell and Kiko Alonso, some young athletic defenders who can play sideline to sideline, and they have a up-and-coming cornerback across Byron Maxwell and Nolan Carroll, and a very good nickel corner in Eric Rowe. So I think that's a defense that's set up to stall some offenses. And, like I said, the big if is Sam Bradford. Can he stay healthy? And if he can, this could be a team that really does some damage into January.
And what's your take on the Giants?
I'm sorry?
What's your take on Eli and the Giants?
Yeah, Eli, I think, he's coming off one of his most efficient seasons of his career, and a lot of it's credited to Ben McAdoo and, the emergence of Odell Beckham. And, a lot of people are interested to see how much better he could be this year with a healthy Odell Beckham and a healthy Victor Cruz. And, you have Ruben Randall and Larry Donnell. The key question is who's going to be playing left tackle. You have Will Beatty, who's going to be out for a very, a sizable amount of time, and you have a rookie in Eric Flowers, and is he going to be the one that's protecting Eli's blind side? And if that's the case, how will he hold his ground when you have Ryan Kerrigan and Jason Pierre-Paul and, Greg Hardy firing off the edge 2 games this season? So I think he's definitely going to have his hands full, but I think the quick passing game of Ben McAdoo allows Eli to be efficient, and so I think the Giants will be just all right.
Is JPP going to be with the Giants?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it's going to take him some time to get acclimated to his new setup, but when it's all said and done, I believe that he'll still be a productive playmaker for Big Blue.
What's your thoughts, too, Ross? Apparently, I've got the Seattle Seahawks representing the NFC just because they still have all of that young talent they had last year, and Pete Carroll has done a good job. Who do you honestly think will represent the NFC going to Santa Clara for Super Bowl 50?
Yeah, I think it's the Green Bay Packers. You just talk about that offense and how loaded it's gotten. They added Ty Montgomery in the draft, who a lot of people maybe have glossed over, but he was one of the Pac-12's most decorated returners, coming out of Stanford. And I think he's going to add maybe another level to this offense. And Devontae Adams, who's entering his second year, he had his breakout game in the divisional round against the Dallas Cowboys last year, and I believe he had 8 grabs for over 100 yards. And then you got Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, and Aaron Rodgers, operating that offense. And of course, we haven't even talked about the running game. So I think they're going to be an offense that's going to be tough to stop. And defensively, I think Dom Capers has done a nice job of kind of, massaging that unit. And I think that, they're definitely the favorite to win the NFC North. And if they can hold down, win a game or two and have some home field advantage, there's not a tougher place to play other than at the 12th man than in Lambeau Field when you have the weather conditions and just that high-flying offense. So I would put my money on the Green Bay Packers.
Ross, what's the toughest division in the NFL this year?
You got to go with the NFC West. You have the Seattle Seahawks, of course. Their defense, and we'll have to remain to be seen what happens here with, Cam Chancellor and Michael Bennett if they show up to Renton, Washington for training camp on time. But you talk about the Arizona Cardinals. They're as tough, physical, as nasty as they come. And the St. Louis Rams, again, you talk about the front sevens and defensive lines and getting to the quarterbacks. This is a dangerous defensive line. And the way that they're building in the trenches, I believe they drafted 4 offensive linemen. They spent a top 10 pick on Todd Gurley. They're going to ride the running game and play some physical defense. And San Francisco 49ers as well. A lot of people believe that Jim Tomsula, isn't ready for this challenge. I think he will be, and I think a lot of these players are going to rally behind him. So I think the NFC West seems like a gauntlet to me.
Your thoughts about the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, the Saints, they seem like a team that's in transition. You have Drew Brees, who I believe is entering the final year of his deal here. They have an explosive 1-2 attack in Mark Ingram and C.J. Spiller, but on the outside, you're relying on a second-year player in Brandon Cooks to make some plays, and Shantavius Jones, particularly on the other side. And we don't know what the injury is to Marcus Colston, who was placed on the PUP list yesterday. So we don't know what the severity is there. Defensively, Rob Ryan's unit last year, was in the basement, and they lose Junior Gillette. And again, Jairus Byrd, he also was placed on the physically unable to perform. Now, that's all procedural. Those guys can come off tomorrow or next week or, in a couple weeks, but, you never like to see those types of playmakers ending up on those types of lists. So the Saints, I believe, while they believe that they may have upgraded that team by, getting Max Unger and getting an additional first-round pick, I think they're gonna struggle.
Okay.
And another part I got to ask real quickly here
Go ahead,
is
Sean.
with Sean Payton. Do you believe, Ross, that this is that he's like his job is in jeopardy if he doesn't get it done with the postseason? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it certainly could be. I don't know if his job's in jeopardy. I don't know if the owner and Mickey Loomis are going to fire him, but I could see a scenario where if they struggle, this would be his third year, and I know one of the years he wasn't even there. It was because of the Deflategate, or not the Deflategate, but Bountygate fallout. I could see a scenario where maybe it's kind of like what happened in Denver with John Fox, where they decided to maybe a mutual agreement to kind of walk away. But I think Sean Payton has a lot of pride, and he's going to give it everything that he has this season and make sure that he tries to put a winning football team on the field.
I have two questions for you, and then we'll let you go. Okay, Ross?
All righty.
One question, because I'm a big fan of Andy Dalton. Just Andy Dalton. How are the Cincinnati Bengals going to do this year, you think? I really like Andy Dalton. I like him as a quarterback. I really, really like him. Is there any way he can get out of Cincinnati and get to a better team and play?
Why do you like Andy Dalton? Let me ask you that.
I don't know. There's just something about him that I'll tell you something. I like him better than I like Tony Romo. I happen to think if Andy Dalton was on the Cowboys, they'd be in the playoffs more.
That's a good, real quickly, Ross. Yeah, I've been saying it with Jeff and I. We've been talking about that with Andy Dalton because, yeah, he is a good quarterback, and I'm sure you're going to answer this just like I am too. The point is he wants to win a playoff game, and I'm sure he's like saying, I can't wait to get the monkey off my back. Go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it all comes down to is he can win in the regular season. And, you talk about having playmakers around you. I mean, I don't think any quarterback in the league has a lot more playmakers than Andy Dalton. When you talk about Jeremy Hill, Giovanni Bernard, A.J. Green, who's a top 5 wide receiver in the game, and Mohamed Sanu, Marvin Jones, and the tight ends. I think this guy's really been given it all on a silver platter, and while they have had a lot of success, you talk about the coordinators there, that Mike Zimmer had those types of defenses there for years. I mean, I don't know if I'm not the one to really get into the arguments of who's better and all that stuff, but I think he's had a great supporting cast around him, and he's won a lot of games. There's no doubt about it, but he's got to show consistency at a high level and win those games in January. Otherwise, people are always going to consider him as somebody who just keeps coming up short.
And one final question before we let you go. The Pittsburgh Steelers, do they have a chance of getting into the Super Bowl and winning it this year? And if not, is there a head coach on the line?
No, there's no way the head coach is on the line. They just gave him a contract extension, but Super Bowl could be tough just because the defense, Keith Butler, the new defensive coordinator, is there, and he's going to be working with a lot of young pieces. You think about Brett Kiesel, Ike Taylor, Troy Polamalu, all gone. There's a new wave of defensive talent, and it all begins with Cam Hayward up front, who they just gave a contract extension to. But that offense will be humming with Martavis Bryant, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and Ben Roethlisberger, who's really been one of the better quarterbacks for the last decade. So I think that they're going to be playing a lot of shootout football, but that defense is going to have to step its game up for sure.
Hey, Ross, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll get you back here during the NFL season again.
Great. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
You
Take
got
care.
it. Thank you so much. There goes Ross Jones, NFL editor of FoxSports.com. Thank you so much, Ross. We appreciate it, buddy. All right.
Thanks, Ross.
There goes Ross right there. All right, you know what? We're running way behind schedule. Sean, do the update, okay? Do the update, and then we will go to commercial break, and then we'll see if we can get Ron Gallo in here for some hockey talk. You're listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
This is the first update of the day. This update is brought to you by the Flipper. Head on over to flipperflipper.com today and get your Flipper and never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again. It's the Flipper, and it's at flipperflipper.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the first update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. 58 minutes after the hour. Let's get started with Major League Baseball. Afternoon action today, the Indians, they pound the Royals by a score of 12-1. The Tigers hold off the Rays by a score of 2-1. Pirates are red hot. They pull out the game in interleague action in Minneapolis, Minnesota by a score of 10-4. The Cubs 3, Rockies 2. The Diamondbacks over the Mariners 8-2 in an interleague game this afternoon. The Giants, they have an easy game. They shut out the Brewers by a score of 5-0. Here are the games that are going to be playing very shortly and very soon. You got the Braves at the Orioles interleague play. Another interleague matchup will feature the Phillies taking on the Blue Jays. White Sox taking on the Red Sox. The Padres at the Mets. Nationals at the Marlins. Angels taking on the Astros. That's the game tonight on ESPN, Wednesday Night Baseball. The Yankees, who are 16-5 in the last 21 games, they will take on the Texas Rangers down in the ballpark in Arlington. The Cincinnati Reds taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. And lastly, it'll be the Athletics taking on the Dodgers. As we move into the NFL, Robert Kraft today at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 7 a.m. Pacific Time, came out and spoke to the whole public and said that he apologizes to Tom Brady and the New England Patriot fans and all football fans because he didn't take a good approach with this situation, that he was more in favor of the league. With Tom Brady being suspended for 4 games, all eyes will be set for the federal court when Tom Brady takes this suspension there. As for Roger Goodell, his decision stays right now at 4 games. This comes at a time when all NFL players are reporting for training camp this week, and Bill Belichick said it bluntly, I am just focusing pretty much on the 2015 season. Robert Kraft has addressed that issue. In the NBA season will be coming out. The schedules will be coming out very shortly in a couple weeks as major moves continue for all the NBA organizations. Kobe Bryant, according to this writer, said that he could see time at power forward. That is the first of 2 updates for Sports World Radio. This update is brought to you by the Flipper. Go to flipperflipper.com. Never, ever have to touch your toilet seat ever again. When we come back from this commercial break and update, Ron Gallo very shortly will be coming in with his NHL hockey perspective. We will be right back after this commercial break.
It's alright if you don't. I'm not afraid of you running away, honey. I get the feeling you will. There is no sense in pretending. Your eyes give you away. Something inside you is feeling like I do. You said all there is to say. Baby, break
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think.
Synergistic integration.
Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow and Sean Mann bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. If you just missed it, we had FoxSports.com NFL editor Ross Jones on the show from the bottom of the hour to the top of the hour. We did a half-hour interview with Ross Jones, FoxSports.com NFL editor. I hope you guys liked that interview. I know Sean and I enjoyed the crap out of it. I hope you did too. We are waiting for Ron Gallo to get his butt on home. He had a meeting. I knew about that, so we're waiting for him to get on home. What do you got for us next, Sean?
All right, the story of Vin Baker. Vin Baker can be seen as a sad one. The former big man for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Seattle Supersonics and other teams, he had 4 straight NBA All-Star appearances and 10 full seasons, fell into alcoholism and ended up losing nearly $100 million.
Really? How about that? How crazy is that? What is he doing now?
Vin Baker, and I'm glad you're asking me that, Jeff. You're going to be surprised about this. Retired from the NBA, Vin Baker lives in North Kingston, Rhode Island, and now is to be trained as the new manager of a Starbucks.
Really?
Yep, he works at a coffee shop, Starbucks, right now.
He's working at a coffee shop, Starbucks, right now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Quote, when you learn lessons in life, no matter what level you are at financially, the important part to realize is it could happen, he told the Journal. Quote, I was an alcoholic. I lost a fortune. I had a great talent and lost it. For the people on the outside looking in, they're like, well, wow.
Wow. Holy cannoli, Batman.
Well,
the guy's working at Starbucks, and he's the manager of Starbucks?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. NBA player, now manager of Starbucks. Woohoo!
Dr. Myth, $100 million lost on booze. Darn. Exact. That's a good point there, Dr. Myth. And here's what he says. He adds more. Quote, for me, I'm 43 and I have 4 kids. I have to pick up the pieces. I'm a father. I'm a minister in my father's church. I have to take the story and show that you can bounce back. If I use my notoriety in the right way, most people will appreciate that this guy is just trying to bounce back in his life.
That's what he's trying to do. He's just trying to make a living.
trying to make a living, and I know that I hadn't heard of Vin Baker in a long time. I remembered him back in the Milwaukee Bucks days, and I remember him back when he played with the Seattle Sonics. Yep.
That's pretty crazy, though, huh? From $1 million player to Starbucks manager.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? $1 million player to Starbucks manager. That's pretty crazy.
8 minutes after the hour, the next story we get to, going back to NFL, get ready for this. If New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft was looking for a sympathetic ear in the Tom Brady saga, not trying to bring up Deflategate because we're trying to move on from that, he's not getting one from Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones.
He's not going to get it from any of the owners.
Yep.
He's not going to get it from any of the owners. Let's move on. Next subject.
Even though Jerry Jones says that Roger Goodell is doing a good job as commissioner.
Yeah, whatever. Next subject. We talked about that in nausea. I'm done with that.
MLB, what would it take to get Cole Hamels? Cole Hamels has the most trade value of any player believed to be on the trade market.
Why? Because he just pitched a no-hitter?
He just pitched a no-hitter. And the team that he pitched a no-hitter against, that's the Chicago Cubs. They are interested in acquiring Cole Hamels.
Who is? The Chicago
Cubs.
I'm sure. I'm sure Frank would like that. Right?
Frank would like it. Red Sox maybe, but I would say for the Red Sox, maybe they should just forget it and just start preparing for 2016. Cole Hamels would want to be on a team that would have a chance to win a World Series championship. Josh says this: Trevor Cody and Ryan's Dick a-Blazing had comments for you today.
Yeah, screw them. They don't have the balls to come on the show and chat in the chat room. Screw them.
Trevor Cody said for Jeff to look at a porn site, and Ryan's Dick Blazing said I should just give up permanently on all Boston sports teams.
You should, but that's besides the point. But, hey, listen, if they don't have the balls enough to come in here and say it, screw them.
And Ryan's Dick a-Blazing, I have something to say. Just like Jeff says, screw you, and I can go for whoever I want. I will never give up on those teams.
You got the balls to say it when I'm not around. Why don't you come on the chat room and say it in the chat room, you rat bastard? Ryan's Dick is blazing. The other one's not allowed, but you are.
Because probably Ryan's Dick a-Blazing is upset because you got him fired.
As soon as you come into the chat room as Ryan's Dick is blazing, your ass is going to be banned anyway. So come on, try it, you rat bastard. You don't got the balls to come in here and screw with me personally. You got to do it over the internet. Come on in here.
And mess with Josh first, and then he goes after me second. He's putting Twitter messages about me.
Yeah, schmuck.
Look at Shabba. Ryan's dick is a...
Ryan's dick is shriveled because he won't come in here. You're damn skippy. Hey, Ryan, did you ever hear shrinkage? That's what you got going on right now because you're shrinking. You're way afraid.
Here's what he said. Ryan's Dick a-Blazing says, Jeff, he wouldn't come on because you block too quick and you don't let people speak their mind.
Not only will I let him come on, I'll let him come on the phone. I'll let him call in and let him have the airtime. I'll rip him personally right on the air. I'll make him hang up the phone. I won't hang up on him. I'll rip him so bad that he'll hang up on us.
I'll rip him too. Yeah, he'll hang up and then he'll say, I'll just kick Sports World Radio. I'll launch a protest to kick it off the air and internet.
Why don't you come on the show? I'll give you an opportunity to talk on the airways. But I can guarantee you it'll be the last time because you won't want to come back on here because you'll be crying like a little bitch after I'm done with you. That's what's going to happen. You'll be crying like a little bitch after I'm done with you. You'll never want to come on these airways again.
Just like he's upset because he lost his job.
Unbelievable. Unstinkunbelievable. Sure, you can say anything you want on Twitter because that's faceless. You ain't got the balls to come on here and say it to my face. That's the problem. I got the balls to say it right to your face. I ain't afraid of you, jackass.
I'm not afraid of you either, Ryan.
Ryan, I give you an open forum to come on my show and see if you can make me cry like the little bitch. But that's not going to happen. You're going to end up, you're the one that's going to be going down.
He's the one that's the little troll is what he is.
I got you fired from one job. I'll do it again and again and again and again and again. That's all.
Let's see. NHL, I wish Ron will be here. I got a story I was going to talk to him about 2016 Winter
That's
Classic.
a good one, Josh. That's a good one, Josh. Ryan's manhood was lost and found in Love.
And here he is out there talking on the internet, talking trash behind our backs, but then he's afraid to come in.
Yeah, that's right. You know what he is? He's an internet bully. Oh, there's Mr. Ron. Hey, Ron, call my Skype line, not the show, my Skype line, okay? Call me on my Skype line, not the show, mine. You should have mine, too.
There you go.
Okay, buddy? Because I can't find you on mine, but if you call in, I can add you to the call. Okay, buddy? So do it that way. Yeah. You want to be an internet bully? Be an internet bully. Come and try and be an internet bully with me, you rat bastard. I'll make you cry like the little bitch that you are. You know? That's the way that's going to be right there. That's the way that's going to be. Hey, let's run to our quarter of the hour break. We'll see if we can get Ron on the phone. And then we'll talk some hockey, I guess. You're listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on... What did I lose? Sean? Hello? What, am I here all by myself now? The hell's going on here? We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday. Got through the technical glitch. Sean is back, and joining us, like he does every Wednesday in the second hour of the show, is our good friend, the Canadian Connection, Mr. Ron Gallo. What's up, buddy?
I must be on Canadian time or something. I'm 15 minutes late.
Well, I understood you had a 3:30 meeting, so I knew you were going to be a little late.
Yeah, I got
it.
It
actually
quickly.
worked out well into our schedule.
Yeah,
Anybody
actually,
ready for the Las Vegas Aces?
Go ahead. What's this about the Las Vegas Aces?
Screw the Las Vegas Aces.
No!
Set that whole thing up.
Screw the Las Vegas Aces.
Well, you'd like to.
No, I don't even want to go near them. I ain't going anywhere near them. I'm telling you right now.
Their jerseys in that video that you said, I still kept watching that and say, what a joke.
It is a joke.
You get used to it, though, right?
I don't know if I can.
NHL and the gambling capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada.
I don't know if I can. That's really,
Welcome, Laura. Good to see you.
That really. See, Laura's here now because we're talking hockey. That's why.
Laura's a good girl.
You know, you missed a great interview, Ron. We had FoxSports.com NFL editor Ross Jones on earlier.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he came in at the bottom of the hour and stayed till the top of the hour. Great conversation. I'm going to take, for all of those of you that missed the interview with FoxSports.com NFL editor Ross Jones, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just the interview, I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to put it on Facebook for you guys so you can hear it.
Sweet.
Just for you rat bastards. That's right. I might even take it out and put it in the members area so the members can hear it too. How about that? Because everybody in the chat room were asking all sorts of questions. He was supposed to be here for 15 minutes. He stayed for a half hour. How great is that?
That is, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What'd you guys talk about? What'd you cover?
We talked about the Deflategate. We talked all NFL football. Talked about
now,
Deflategate.
You heard that Brady broke his phone, eh?
Yeah, right, whatever. Sure.
Oh boy,
yeah, he breaks his he breaks his, he changes his phone every 5 to 6 months anyway.
Yeah.
You know, they all those famous people do that crap, you know?
Oh, Lord.
You know, it's neither here nor there. It really doesn't freaking bother me, okay? It bothers Sean more than it bothers me.
You bet it does.
But we talked about, we perused the NFL. We talked about the Giants. We talked about the Eagles. We talked about the Cowboys. We talked about Cincinnati Bengals. We talked about Pittsburgh Steelers. We talked about the Saints. We perused the internet with him. Perused the NFL. I asked him what his thought was on the toughest division in the NFL. All that good stuff right there. It's a really good interview. We'll play it. I'll edit it out and I'll put it on Facebook for all you people that missed the Ross Jones interview from FoxSports.com, the NFL editor. We'll get it out there for you. All right, let's get into some. There's really not much hockey talk, is there?
No, there's not. It's kind of wait and see mode. I think I used that term last week as well, but really not lots going on right now. Little things here and there. I mean, to make up news, they're talking about different things that different players are doing. Perhaps the biggest news to come out of today is the 2016 Bridgestone NHL Winter Classic is going to be held at Gillette Stadium. On the day before, the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins alumni are going to have a rivalry game, which could be a lot of fun.
All right, I'll be ready for that.
Yeah, I see you're ready for that. You didn't even know about it until just now.
I knew about it and I saved it. Don't give me that.
Yeah, you knew about it. Yeah, you knew about it.
Hey, sure. You know what? When it comes to hockey, he just knows that he's got to wait until I show up on Wednesday afternoons, and then I'll give him the scoop.
Well, especially if Laura's here, yes.
Absolutely.
Josh. Josh said in the chat room. He says Brady changes his phone more than a woman changes her tampon when she's on her period.
Oh gosh!
And then Laura turned around and says, "Hopefully, other women change their tampons way more than that, Josh." Because he breaks he breaks his phone every 5 to 6 months. If a woman's changing her tampon every 5 to 6 months, man, that is nasty.
Nasty.
I just wanted to throw that out there. Laura, if you want to call in, go right ahead. I'm sure.
Yeah, come on, Laura, come on and call on in.
I'm sure. Call in and light up Josh.
I'm sure.
I find that little over the edge.
I'm sure Ron would love to have a woman's hockey perspective. Right, Ron?
Absolutely.
See?
Speaking of women's perspective, what's the news coming out of the NFL today that I'm hearing? There's a female coach.
Yeah,
that's right. Arizona Cardinals assistant.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday on the show. Arizona Cardinals assistant Jen, what's her name? What's her name? Oh,
I know Jen's the first name, but what was the consensus? Sorry. What are you guys hearing?
I like it. I think it's cool.
I think it's all right. There's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely. But is that a common consensus?
I don't know, but I don't think they really care, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
I mean, anytime that a woman breaks down a barrier and shows up in a male-dominated sport, it's reason for news.
There it is. Oh, no, that's not it.
And people talk about it all the time. I mean, it happened with Manny Rahm, the goaltender that suited up for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Right.
It goes everywhere. I mean, there's an official, isn't there, in the NFL, a female official?
Yeah, there's more than one. There's several of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I think that's cool now
there
that there's
there it is. There it is. I have it right now.
Coach.
I have it right now. It's Jen Welter.
That's right.
Jen Welter is the NFL's first ever female coach. That's right, Jen Welter. How about that?
That's cool.
That is way cool. Way cool. I like that. I think that is way, way cool. You know? Good for her. Good for her. So you got one in the NBA, and now you got one in the NFL.
Yep.
You know?
It won't be long before you start seeing them, seeing that more often, which, again, like I said, I think that's pretty cool.
Man, it's hot in here. I'm going to turn the air conditioner on.
What's the temperature down there?
Well, it's hotter in the studio than it is outside. I'll tell you that right now.
Laura says it got up to 112 in Vicksburg, Mississippi today.
I'll tell you right now, it's probably got to be about
where?
100. I'll tell you right now, it's
Vicksburg.
got to be about 110 in the studio right now. I just turned the air conditioner on. The hell with you people.
Nice.
I'm sorry it's noisy in here, but I can't. I'm sitting here losing weight. That's not good.
What's that? I can't hear you underneath the hum of the AC.
Is it that bad?
No, I'm kidding.
No, seriously, I don't know. Is it that bad?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, Callow and his sense of humor. Oh, boy. Wow.
No, Ron, I never.
Dry.
I don't know, Ron, because I don't listen back on the show, so I don't know what it sounds like.
I don't hear a doggone thing. I'm just happy as I can be.
Well, you should take the tampons out of your ears.
Yeah, Ron! Strike right down the middle or freaking Sean, strike one.
Yeah, you sick bastards.
Sean.
Hey, Ron, how'd your bike trip go?
The actual bike ride, the one that I'm doing to raise money for cancer, is on August the 29th and 30th.
Oh, August 29th and 30th, so you still got a little ways to train yet.
It's a month away, you bet.
How long
what
is
I've
it?
been doing is a bunch of training rides. So there's another one again tonight with one of the buddies that's going to be on the ride with me, and we're going to do about a 60K ride tonight.
How long is it?
60K will take approximately 2.5 hours.
Okay, 60K in your world is how many miles in my world?
Oh, God, I got to do that. I guess it's 1.6 kilometers. Is that 100? Beat 60? I think that's you got me. Hang on a
How
sec.
long? Okay, well, how long is your marathon on the 28th and 29th, or whenever you're doing it?
So 60 kilometers is only 37 miles.
Oh, okay. So how long is the event that you're going to be doing in August?
If we do the challenge route, it'll be about 300 kilometers, which is 186 miles.
And how long do you expect to do that in?
It is a 2-day ride. They're not calling it a race. They're calling it a ride. And we do approximately 150 kilometers each day, or roughly 93 miles each day.
Sleeping in tents?
One night we sleep in a tent, you bet.
That's kind of fun, camping out.
You know what? There's supposed to be like 3,000 riders.
Oh, that's
Some
fun.
of the riders are actual cancer survivors.
Oh, that's great. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Exactly.
I mean,
when we start talking about the old Bruce Jenner and Caitlyn scenario, and we could get into this argument all night long, but these are true heroes in my opinion. These are people that have overcome barriers.
Correct.
And they're out there riding this distance.
That's cool.
After fighting the battle of cancer.
That's cool. We got to get you a patch, we got to get you a Sports World Radio patch so you can put it on your shirt.
You bet. They gave me license plates. I got a license plate for the bike. I've got to put a license plate on my bike.
Really? Maybe we should get you a sticker so you can put it on the bike or something. We got to get you
There
something.
you go.
A Sports World Radio something, so when you're driving along and people say, what's that Sports World Radio thing? You can tell them.
Exactly.
Right. You can tell them, and we're supporting them. Go fight cancer. Hey, my mom died of it, so go fight cancer.
Oh, I plan on it. I've been taking this pretty seriously.
You know,
I've raised all my money already. I raised my $2,500, and I've been putting in the rides. And I'm proud to say that when I started this initiative, I wasn't sure how I would be able to ride with the rest of the crew. But I now have that answer to that question. Everybody looks to me and says, if you want to find Gallo, look for him at the front of the pack.
That's right. Go out there and lead the pack, buddy.
That's right.
Go out there and lead the pack. Hey, let's run to our final update of the day. I know they're kind of close, but we ran a little long during the interview. Oh, well. Let's run up to the final update of the day, and we'll run to our commercial break, and we'll have some more talk with Ron Gallo, Jeff Escow, and Sean Mann. This update is brought to you by The Flipper. Head on over to flipper.com and get your Flipper today and never, ever touch a toilet seat ever again. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the final update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. 28 minutes after the hour. Let's start in the NFL. Of course, Robert Kraft coming out this morning and announcing that he has disgusted with Commissioner Roger Goodell about the suspension being upheld by Tom Brady. And he says, I apologize that I took my faith in the National Football League, that when he dropped everything with the Brady appeal back in May. Brady is still suspended for 4 games. This issue is now going to move to the federal courts, where it should get very, very, very interesting. Other news to report in Major League Baseball. Here's the action. The Phillies and the Blue Jays interleague play. No score in that one. Bottom of the second inning. Top of the first inning. The White Sox lead the Red Sox 1-0. Padres lead the Mets 2-0. Nationals and the Marlins are scoreless. Other action we have today, you got the Yankees taking on the Rangers, and of course the Angels taking on the Astros. That game's on ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball. Reds taking on the Cardinals, and Athletics taking on the Dodgers. Finals today for Major League Baseball. The Indians over the Royals by a score of 12-1. Tigers 2, Rays 1. Pirates taking care of business in Minnesota this afternoon, 10-4 against the Twins. Cubs 3, Rockies 2, Diamondbacks 8, Mariners 2, and the Giants. They shut out the Brewers by a score of 5-0. That is the last update of the day. This update is brought to you by The Flipper. Go to flipper.com and never, ever have to touch your toilet seat ever again. When we come back from this commercial break and update, more NHL hockey talk with Ron Gallo, Jeff Escow, and Sean Mann. Be right back after the commercial.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Pascal, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. Okay, if you have not signed up for our sports shorts, you got to go and do it. Head on over to SportsWorldRadio.com/sports shorts and listen to all the talk that we talk about during the commercial breaks. I'm telling you right there, Josh said something in the chat room during the commercial break about somebody charging him money to do an interview. I went off on the guy during the commercial break. I was fit to be. That just irks me the wrong freaking way. So if you want to hear what I said, because I went off, I cursed, I was using the expletives left and right. If you want to hear what I said, head on over to SportsWorldRadio.com/sport shorts and sign up today. All right, we got Ron Gallo sitting in with us here in the second hour of the show like he does each and every Wednesday. We're supposed to be talking hockey, but there ain't much hockey talk going on, so we're just talking sports.
Actually, I do have a hockey story.
Oh, God.
It's far too early to predict 2016 playoff spots at this stage of the summer. Plus, what would we do when training camp actually starts in less than 2 months? But it's not too early to look at some teams that finished outside the playoff bubble last spring, but look ready to knock on the postseason door next spring. Here are the 5 teams, Ron, that I would want to ask you about. Number 5, Columbus Blue Jackets. What would your thoughts be about them making a return to the postseason in the spring of next year?
Columbus Blue Jackets are a team that somehow is getting the job done. Watch out for them. That's all I'm going to say. They can and they will do it.
Dallas Stars.
Without question. Watch out for them to be near the top.
Los Angeles Kings.
Perennials. Los Angeles Kings, as long as there's no problems inside the dressing room, and I'm not saying Milan Lucic arriving in L.A. is going to be a problem. I do think that Milan Lucic and Brett Sutter are not going to see eye to eye. I do see some problems with the coach and the player, but we'll see if the player can be a player, and that means do what the coach asks him to do. I think it goes a little bit farther than that. Sutter's got a reputation of getting as much out of his players as he can in the first couple of years of his tenure, and then things start to fall off because the players lose interest. It's a byproduct of negative reinforcement, and negative reinforcement doesn't work in anything anymore in today's day and age.
San Jose Sharks.
They're going to get to the postseason, but how far are they going to go? I hate to say that for any San Jose Sharks fan, but they did not make enough changes in the offseason. They still have the same nucleus. They still have a lot of the same pegs in the same holes. I don't see San Jose doing much. During the regular season, San Jose fans are going to be throwing it in my face because San Jose seems to be able to get the job done during the regular season and make themselves look good and make their fans believe. Problem is they don't do anything in the postseason.
And that's true because I have an interesting point here, Jeff and Ron, about the San Jose Sharks. Team train wreck over the past 17 months since blowing a 3-0 series lead against the LA Kings in the first round of the 2014 quarterfinals. Looks to have found the rails once again. But your point is exactly true. How far can they go in the postseason, and can they avoid choking like we've seen from years past?
Personally, I don't like to use the choke metaphor. The problem for me is that you'll get certain teams, they'll get there, and they don't know what it takes to get past there. They don't know how to take it to the next step. Look back at the postseason that we just went through. You guys all saw the Chicago Blackhawks hoist the Stanley Cup. You guys also saw the Chicago Blackhawks almost imploding in themselves at the end of the regular season. You saw the Chicago Blackhawks struggle to get out of the first round, and all they did was build momentum after that. Why? Because these players have done it. They've done it before. They'll do it again. They bring experience to the table. They know what it takes, and it's almost like they paced themselves through the postseason. Whereas you get some teams, it's like a long-distance run. You get some teams that come out of the gate sprinting like a mad fox, and they run out of steam. They can't go any farther. They can't get past the second or the third round and get to the final dance. So you have to look at the teams that have figured it out and have enough experience in their dressing room to be able to calm the nerves of the young ones and make sure that everybody contributes at a team level as opposed to an individual level. When you can get past the individualism, you will get a team effort that will net you some big results. And again, look at Tampa Bay Lightning, look at the Chicago Blackhawks.
Lastly, the Boston Bruins.
Boston Bruins will be fine this coming year. They'll make it to the postseason. How deep will they go? Hard to say. Claude Julien, this will either be his extension of a contract or it'll be his end of his tenure with the Boston Bruins.
True, and think about it with the Boston Bruins that they have lost a lot of big pieces in the offseason.
They
Hard
have,
to
but
say with what I expect from the Bruins.
Yeah, they have, but I see them wanting to go back and go back to the fountain of youth and start recharging and rebuilding. They've still left enough pieces in place that where I believe that they have not lost that experience. What they've lost, if they've traded away some marquee players without question. Milan Lucic probably being the biggest of the lot. They traded away a ton of potential in Milan Lucic, but they also traded away a ton of headaches. He was a distraction for the team.
He was, and of course the Bruins a lot of the games that hurt them the most throughout the season was too many overtime games or shootouts. That's what really jeopardized their chances of getting in there, and the expectation was high for the Boston Bruins for 2014-2015. They just didn't get it done toward the end of the stretch. Now, Ron, 40 minutes after the hour, here's another thing. Can the off-season moves boost the Pittsburgh Penguins to possibly winning the Stanley Cup championship next year?
The one that I'm surprised about is Malkin is still there. I'm absolutely surprised that Evgeny Malkin is there. I don't know if team officials had a talk with Malkin after his little bit of his tirade with his homeland media. He went off on a tangent saying that there was not enough commitment from the players that were with the Pittsburgh Penguins to be able to take them to the Stanley Cup anymore. I thought that meant that the writing was on the wall, but it sounds to me like they probably let it slide. You haven't heard of it very much in mainstream media. I bring it up every once in a while when we talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins, but that's because I'm truly surprised that Malkin was not traded. They plan on keeping Malkin. They plan on adding him to that top line. They plan on making sure that they can get as much from him as they possibly can. And I think that after his comments, they had a nice little sit down with him. They talked to him, and they said, you know what, we're going to let this go as you just being, pissed off and venting in frustration. But you're going to have to do something very early in the season to show that you're a team player and not an individual player.
Now, Jeff, according to Wes, he'll believe that next year the Penguins will win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, of course he will. He believes every year his teams are going to win every championship. And so far, if I'm correct, he's 0 for 2 this year, right?
He's 0 for 1.
0 for 1, that's right.
Got 2 more to win against him.
Oh, he's 0 for 1. Well, he's going to be 0 for 2 at the end of baseball season, so I'll be okay there.
And then he says, too, Jeff and Ron, that the Steelers are going to have the best offense in the league and that the Steelers will win the Super Bowl.
You know what I'm hearing here, Jeff?
What's that?
I'm just hearing, instead of it being Boston Dynasty, I'm just hearing somebody changing the words Boston with Pittsburgh. You know what?
No, it's Wes. It's Wes who's the Pittsburgh fan.
But you do it all the time, Sean. You just insert Boston sports teams and talk about how good they are.
Yes, he
does.
You know what?
Not like I used to.
Let's drop the puck in the NHL season. Let's hit the ball over the fence. Let's kick a field goal a few times before we start talking about dynasties and cups and all the rest of it. Do the Boston franchises have a good record? Without question. Does Pittsburgh have things that they can hang their hat on? Without question. The bottom line is that sometimes it just takes a quirk and the whole season comes unraveled. It could be an off-season injury. It could be an opening night injury. It could be a bunch of different things. Is Pittsburgh going to win the Stanley Cup? I don't think so. Is Pittsburgh going to go a little bit deeper? I believe that they can. For next season, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? I think we've already kind of talked about that. And with Chicago not making any changes, I'm fearful of anybody that has to play against the Chicago Blackhawks next year.
Sick of the Blackhawks.
Good. I hope the Blackhawks win it again, just to piss everybody off, including Sean.
Well, I'm fearful of what they're capable of doing. Who did they lose in the offseason? Who?
Not very many pieces.
No,
nobody really.
They lost a third line defenseman and a couple of forwards that were fillers.
Yeah, a couple pieces for the Blackhawks, but we'll see. It'll be a long season when October gets here.
See, and it's these comments here, Sean. That's what gets to me. Because if I was talking about Boston winning in 2011 and trying to get back to their glory days, you'd be all over it, saying that's awesome, that's great. They haven't lost Zdeno Chara. Chara is a great leader. You know what? Like, you don't need to talk about the Chicago Blackhawks that way. You need to just be able to say, listen, wait until the cards are dealt, and we'll deal with it then.
True. Yeah. True.
Anyways, we got a commercial break.
Yeah, let's run to our final commercial break of the day. You're listening to Jeff Escow, Sean Man, and Ron Gallo on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell say at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think.
Synergistic integration.
Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio, the final segment of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-hour journey. I know we have, and it's been a lot of fun for us, and I hope we're going to continue on for the next 15 minutes until we get the flock out of here. Sean Mann, Ron Gallo in here with me as well. Where are we going next, boys?
Philadelphia.
Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I was just saying, no, actually, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, just to wrap up some light little news. again, it's more about what the players are doing off the ice as opposed to on the ice right now in the NHL. Sidney Crosby and Nathan McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon, last year's big rookie, are from the Colorado Avalanche, along with Sidney Crosby, really the face of the Pittsburgh Penguins. They both come from a place called Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia, and they both put on Tim Hortons shirts and went and doled out coffee at the drive-thru at the local Tim Hortons. You guys got Tim Hortons down there?
No, I don't have a Tim Hortons here, no.
No, I don't have one.
You familiar with the name and the franchise?
No, not at all.
Okay, nope. It's a coffee outlet here in Canada. It's a license to print money if you own one. Busiest shop by far in every Canadian city across the country. But it was founded by an NHLer, Tim Horton, and stayed in the family until a few years ago. Tim Horton last was known with the 1964 Toronto Maple Leafs when they won the Stanley Cup, and then he died that summer. But anyways, long story short, to see the players at the Tim Hortons must have been quite the treat for the residents of Cole Harbour that visited that particular Tim Hortons location. Think of Starbucks, if you will.
That is true.
Yeah, PK Subban doing the same little thing, going out and meeting the kids. It's nice to see that the players are giving things back.
Mm-hmm.
And again, touching on this is a long ways away, but the NHL Winter Classic on January 1st of 2016, I already mentioned, is going to be in Gillette Stadium. The Boston Bruins will be playing a regular season game as the host team against the Montreal Canadiens, an original 6 matchup. And to really sweeten the pot, it will be an original 6 matchup with alumni players the day before on December the 31st. Again, I was talking, that's going to be a lot of fun. What would be cool? Think about this, Jeff. What would be cool is if Scotty Bowman was behind the bench of the Montreal Canadiens and Don Cherry behind the bench of the Boston Bruins.
That's possible.
Wow.
Don Cherry, his coaching career came to an end when he got caught with too many men on the ice during a Stanley Cup playoff game. It was like a game 5, and they were down at the time 2-1. They ended up losing that game 3-1, went back to Montreal, and Montreal won the cup on home ice. It all goes back to that too many men call. Kind of interesting. Names that have been big in the NHL here the last little while. There was the trade with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Vancouver Canucks that saw Brandon Sutter head west and Nick Bonino head to the Iron City Pittsburgh Penguins. Some people are wondering who's going to benefit more from the trade, whether it be like Nick Bonino or Brandon Sutter. I think Nick Bonino might actually benefit more with the Pittsburgh Penguins, simply because there is a little bit more talent, I think, and a little bit of a more aggressive style of play out east. So we'll see what happens with Nick Bonino with the Pittsburgh Penguins and Brandon Sutter with the Vancouver Canucks.
Should be interesting, huh?
Yeah. How about a non-hockey related question for you?
Greg, go ahead.
This Saturday is another UFC, is it not?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. The big bout, actually, is going to be a preliminary bout.
Really?
Ronda Rousey taking on a Brazilian in Brazil. I can't remember the name of the fighter that she's up against, but you guys got to check this out. It's getting pretty heated.
Is that this week?
I'm thinking it's this Saturday. And it's getting pretty heated. It's getting pretty intense. The Brazilian telling Ronda that she's going to ultimately fall down, and Ronda saying, others have tried, and others will be trying after you. I'm going to make an example out of you.
She's going to kill her.
If anybody could, Ronda could. But here's the question for you. Is Ronda not perhaps one of the most, I guess, gorgeous, sexiest female athletes out there right now?
I think Ronda is, yeah, for sure.
What do you think, Sean?
Who's she fighting? Beth
so.
Correa? Is that her name?
Sorry?
Is the lady's name she's fighting Beth Correa?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, yeah, in Brazil, in Beth's in Beth's hometown, actually, in Rio de Janeiro.
That's right.
She's going to beat her in front of her people.
And that's exactly what Ronda Rousey said, is that she's going to take pride in the fact that she's going to be able to beat her down in front of her homeland fans.
It's going to be crazy. I might just have to watch that.
It's a preliminary bout. It's on live television.
Is it really?
Yeah, you're going to have to find it. Up here in Canada, it is going to be on your Sports Center affiliate station. Up here in Canada, it'll be on TSN2. So check Sports Center. ESPN should be carrying
it. This Saturday night?
I'm sure it's this Saturday night.
August 1st?
I'm positive that it's August 1st.
Yeah? Wonder where that's going to be. Wonder what channel that's going to be on.
I think it's going to be on an ESPN channel.
You think?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be on an ESPN channel.
Well, it's being broadcast on public television up here in Canada.
I'm going to have to find out where that is now. Because either way, whether I watch it for free or whether I go and watch it on the internet, either way, I'm watching it. Because I want to see how bad she beats this broad.
It's, here, I've just pulled it up. It's going to be covered by Fox Sports.
Figures. You know what that means?
Do you not get Fox Sports?
You know what that means, right?
What's that?
That means it's going to be on Fox Sports 1, which means I won't get it. Son of bitches. Sons of bitches, man.
Well, here's the fight card. Popular. Here's the fight card. Ronda is 11-0, and Beth is 9-0.
What time's that fight supposed to go off?
8 p.m. East, 10 p.m. our time.
10 p.m. our time?
Sorry, 7 p.m. our time. 10 p.m. in the East.
7 p.m. our time.
Yeah, in the West it's 7 p.m.
7 p.m. our time. Okay, so ESPN has boxing on. Fox has got nothing on. So far, I'm not seeing it anywhere. And boom, there you go, you son of a bitch. It's right where the channel that I don't have. It's right there. It actually starts at 5 o'clock our time, 5 to 7.
That's when everything, I think, starts.
Yeah. Rousey versus Correa, 5 to 7. That sucks. I don't get that channel in the studio.
That fight
sucks.
is expected to go a little bit longer than one round. But believe it or not, out of the 11 wins, Ronda has gotten, I think, all of her 11 wins in the first round.
That fight's not going out of the first round. Are you kidding me?
I don't think it's going it's going past the first. You think it's going to be ended in the first round?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
She hasn't got out of the first round in decades, man.
I know. I'm trying to give the Brazilian a little bit of benefit of the doubt, but I think this is going to be a fast one.
The only way Correa is getting out of the first round is she just runs around in a circle and don't get hit for 5 minutes. If Ronda gets her hands on her, puts it in an armbar, game over.
That's her signature move.
Game over.
She's got 8 submissions by armbar alone.
She gets that armbar on you, game over. So the best thing to do is just to run around in circles. Stay away from her for the first round and be the first person to get out of the first round.
No doubt. No, I would want to watch that UFC strictly for that fight.
Yeah, me too. I just want to watch it to see that fight. I don't care about anything else. I just want to watch that fight. And unfortunately, it's on Fox Sports 1, and I don't get that in the damn studio. Son of a bitch.
I might have to do like I did one time for an American friend of mine.
I hate that.
I ended up broadcasting it over the internet.
No, we don't want to get you in trouble. I know. I can. There's a website out there. Let me see where it is. Where is it? There it is, right there. I want to see if they got the fight for Saturday. If they got the fight for Saturday night, you know damn well I'll just watch the fight right here. You know?
Right in the studio.
Right in the studio on my computer.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to have it yet because I have to. I don't see a schedule for Saturday yet. And it doesn't say MMA on here. It says boxing. And that's about it. So I don't know if it's other. Ooh, there's other. So I don't know if it's going to be on here. So I'll have to wait till Saturday. But I'm sure Josh or one of those schmucks, Josh or Sean, will remind me about it so I won't forget neither.
Well, I'm pretty sure that with the NHL kind of in a wait-and-see mode, I'm pretty sure that just about every hockey player is going to be watching that fight on Saturday.
I am sure. I am really sure. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. You know, I'm going to watch it. I'll find a way to watch it, whether I have to go into the house to watch it or whatever, but I'll find a way to watch it. Because I want to see Rousey just beat her.
Josh, your comment about Ronda going back to the WWE, there was a report out that she's not sure what she's going to do. She does want to beat this opponent on Saturday. She's got a contract for another movie to shoot, and then she says she'll be ready to take on the next challenger. Right now, she's listing 3 fights in the UFC before she even thinks about going back to the WWE.
Yeah, and they might just wait till WrestleMania to bring her in again.
I think so. I mean, what better time to do something than that?
Yeah, well, they did something with her and The Rock during WrestleMania last year, so they might continue that storyline this year, the next WrestleMania. Who knows? Have Rock and Ronda Rousey wrestling Triple H and Stephanie. That'd be pretty cool. But we'll see what happens. Who knows?
We got to end the show, Jeff, but Laura just gave me an idea for a new segment. Hockey dicks and tampons.
Hockey dicks and tampons. I kind of like that. Thanks, Laura. And on that note, we're getting the flock out of here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed listening to the show. I had a great time doing the show. I'm bringing it to you. I know Sean did. I know Ron did in this last hour. I hope everybody enjoyed it today. Remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. For Sean Mann, Ron Gallo, Ross Jones, I'm Jeff Escow. This has been Sports World Radio.
Bye.
See you guys.
Shut up, Skip.
Hey, boys, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, kid. So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?
The show's over. See you next time.
Next time? When's that?
Pretty soon. Don't worry.
Pretty soon? How long is that?
In a little while, man. Goodbye, folks.
Goodbye, folks.